In a small, unassuming town nestled between rolling hills and a glimmering river, there lived a woman named Clara. Clara was known for her infectious laughter and boundless energy, traits that seemed to defy the natural order of things. While most of her neighbors were still cocooned in their blankets, Clara would rise with the sun, her spirit as bright as the morning light that spilled through her window. Yet, what many didn't know was that Clara had her secrets, a set of rituals that transformed her mornings from mundane to magical. Clara's journey to becoming an early riser began on a chilly autumn evening when she found herself sitting on her porch, watching the leaves dance in the wind. She had always been a night owl, reveling in the quiet hours of the night, finding solace in the stillness. But as the days grew shorter and the nights colder, she began to feel a sense of lethargy that weighed her down. It was then that she decided something had to change. She wanted to wake up early, to embrace the day rather than merely survive it. The first step in Clara's transformation was to understand the importance of sleep. She immersed herself in books and articles about sleep cycles, circadian rhythms, and the science behind a good night's rest. Clara learned that the body craved consistency, and so she set a goal: to wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day. This meant she had to adjust her bedtime, a challenge for someone who loved the quietude of late nights. She began by gradually shifting her bedtime earlier, allowing her body to adapt to the new schedule. The first few nights were difficult. She tossed and turned, her mind racing with thoughts of the day's events. But Clara was determined. She created a soothing nighttime routine that included dimming the lights, sipping herbal tea, and reading a few pages of a book that transported her to far-off lands, away from the worries of the day. After a week, Clara noticed something remarkable. She began to feel more rested, more alive. Her mornings became a canvas, and she was the artist, ready to paint her day with vibrant colors. She woke to the sound of chirping birds and the gentle rustling of leaves, a symphony that welcomed her into the world. The first thing she did was stretch, allowing her body to awaken gradually. She would stand by her window, breathing in the fresh morning air, feeling the coolness on her skin, and letting the sunlight kiss her face. It was a ritual that filled her with gratitude for the new day. Clara soon discovered that the secret to waking up early was not just about going to bed earlier. It was about creating a morning routine that excited her. She began to experiment with different activities, searching for what would ignite her spirit. One morning, she decided to take a walk along the riverbank. The water shimmered as the sun rose higher, and the world around her seemed to come alive. She felt invigorated, her heart racing with the thrill of the new day. That walk became a staple of her mornings, a time for reflection and connection with nature. She found solace in the rhythmic sound of her footsteps and the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. As the weeks turned into months, Clara's mornings evolved into something extraordinary. She began to incorporate mindfulness into her routine, setting aside time for meditation. Each day, she would sit cross-legged on her living room floor, eyes closed, focusing on her breath. The world around her would fade away, and in those moments, she felt a profound sense of peace. Clara realized that these quiet moments of introspection were essential, allowing her to center herself before diving into the chaos of the day. The energy she cultivated during meditation carried her through her tasks, making even the most mundane chores feel purposeful. With her newfound enthusiasm, Clara also began to explore the culinary world. She had always enjoyed cooking, but now she approached it with a sense of adventure. Each morning she would prepare a hearty breakfast, experimenting with different ingredients that nourished her body and soul. She discovered the joys of smoothies packed with leafy greens and fruits, oatmeal topped with nuts and honey, and eggs cooked to perfection. Clara learned that what she put into her body directly influenced her energy levels. The more vibrant and wholesome her meals, the more vibrant she felt. Her kitchen became a sanctuary, a place where she could create and nourish herself, fueling her body for the day ahead. Clara's friends began to notice the transformation. They would often comment on her radiant glow and the way her laughter seemed to ring out with even more joy. Curious about her secret, they would ask her how she managed to wake up so early and be full of energy. Clara would smile, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm, and share her journey. She spoke of the importance of sleep, the beauty of morning rituals, and the power of nourishing food. They listened, intrigued, and slowly some of her friends began to join her in her early morning escapades. As her circle of early risers grew, Clara organized morning meetups where they would gather to walk, meditate, and share breakfast. The camaraderie was infectious, and soon they were all waking up to the sound of laughter, the promise of a new day ahead. They would walk along the river, sharing stories and dreams, their hearts light and their spirits high. The energy of the group was electric, and Clara felt a deep sense of fulfillment in being part of this community. Together, they discovered the joys of waking up early, transforming what was once a solitary endeavor into a shared experience. One crisp winter morning, as Clara and her friends gathered for their usual meetup, they decided to add an element of challenge to their routine. They set a goal to wake up even earlier at 5 a.m. to witness the sunrise together. The idea thrilled Clara. She loved the thought of sharing the first light of day with her friends. That night, she prepared herself mentally, reminding herself of the beauty that awaited them. When the alarm rang, she felt a rush of excitement. The world was still cloaked in darkness, but she could already feel the anticipation building within her. As they stood together, bundled in warm jackets, the sky began to transform. Hues of orange, pink, and gold painted the horizon, and Clara felt a surge of energy coursing through her veins. They watched in awe as the sun broke free from the grasp of the night, illuminating the world in a soft glow. In that moment, Clara understood that waking up early was not just about the hours gained. It was about experiencing life in its purest form, savoring the beauty that often went unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of daily life. With each passing day, Clara's mornings became a celebration of life. She embraced the stillness, the quiet moments that allowed her to connect with herself and the world around her. Her energy was no longer a fleeting spark, but a steady flame that fueled her passions. She began to pursue hobbies she had long neglected, painting and writing, allowing her creativity to flow freely. The early hours became her sanctuary, a time to explore her inner world and express herself without the distractions of the day. As spring approached, Clara decided to take her morning rituals a step further. Inspired by the blooming flowers and the vibrant colors of nature, she started a garden in her backyard. Each morning, she would tend to her plants, nurturing them with love and care. The act of gardening became a meditative practice, grounding her in the present moment. She found joy in watching her seedlings sprout, knowing that she was part of a beautiful cycle of growth and renewal. The garden became a reflection of her journey, a testament to the energy she had cultivated within herself. Clara's transformation did not go unnoticed in the community. Word spread about her early morning adventures, and soon, neighbors began to join her in her efforts. They would gather for sunrise yoga sessions, followed by a shared breakfast in her garden, surrounded by the fragrant blooms. Clara felt a sense of fulfillment in nurturing not just her plants, but also the connections she had forged with those around her. The early mornings became a time of unity, a celebration of life and the beauty of community. As the seasons changed, so did Clara. She became a beacon of light for those around her, inspiring others to embrace the early morning hours. Friends and neighbors, who had once struggled to rise with the sun, now found themselves waking up with a sense of purpose, eager to join Clara in her morning rituals. They would share their own stories, their own struggles, and together they created a tapestry of resilience and joy. Years passed, and Clara's mornings remained a cherished part of her life. She had discovered the secret to waking up early and feeling full of energy. It was not just about the hours gained, but about the intention behind each moment. It was about embracing the stillness, nourishing the body, and connecting with others. Clara had transformed her life, and in doing so, she had transformed the lives of those around her. In the quiet of the early morning, as the sun rose over the horizon, Clara often reflected on her journey. She would stand by her window, a warm cup of tea in hand, and smile at the beauty of the world outside. The laughter of her friends, the vibrant colors of her garden, and the energy that filled her heart were all reminders of the magic that lay in the early hours. Clara had discovered a treasure that she would carry with her for the rest of her days. The secret to waking up early was not just about the act itself. It was about awakening to life, embracing each moment, and sharing that joy with others.